Okay, 50 random guy questions. What was the last thing you created? Digital art. Who is who is a better cook, your mother or your grandmother? I have no idea what my grandmother cooked like. She was completely senile by the time I knew her, and I never had anything she cooked ever. So, what book do you wish would be turned into a movie? What book do I wish would be turned into a movie? Most of the books that I wish would be movies have been movies. Yeah. In fact, I think they all have been. So, yeah. Yeah, well. Is there an app that you hate but use always? No. If I don't like the app, I'm not going to use it. Unless it's useful, and nothing that is useful to me I dislike. So, you know. What was the last thing that you fixed? God, I don't remember. Wow. Cleaned my mouse. Does that count? I think the last thing I fixed was somebody's computer because they needed something to work that wasn't working, and I fixed the settings and it worked well. Could you survive in the wilderness for a month? No, I could not. What are some songs you know by heart? Carry On, Wayward Son, Let It Be. Yeah, there's a myriad of them, but yeah, anyways. What piece of technology brings you the most joy? My cell phone, to my smartphone that I'm talking into right now. What do your clothes say about you? I don't care what I look like. That's what they say about me. What's your going to bed routine? Take my night pills, get naked, and climb in bed. Basically, that's it. No weirdness with facial creams or whatever the hell. You know. What animal best represents your personality? House cat. If you could rename the street you lived on, what would you rename it? Well, the street I live on is a numbered one, so that would be a little bit hard to rename. Yeah. I don't know. Pusheen Avenue. I'm addicted to Pusheen the cat, so yeah, very manly that. What piece of clothing or accessory can someone wear that immediately makes you have a bad opinion of them as a person? Piece of clothing or accessory. I don't really judge people about what they wear. I just don't. So they can wear whatever the hell they want, even if I don't like it. I'm not going to think they're a horrible human being because they have a piece of jewelry that I don't like, or are wearing a shirt that I don't like. So, what's the fullest you've ever been? We went to an all-you-could-eat thing, and we both ended up puking in the parking lot. That was probably the fullest I've ever been. What behaviors make you think a person is creepy when they're acting creepy? I don't know. When they keep going on about people that they say they've left in the past, but they just keep going on about them. And it's like, yeah, you're over that, girlfriend, sort of thing. What is the movie business, or who in the movie business seems to, who in the movie business seems the most down to earth? Nobody. I don't think any of them are actually all that down to earth. I don't think it can be and still do their jobs. So, What's the funniest and most amazing cell phone cover you've ever seen? Uh, well, I seen one that had a picture of a butt plug on it, so that's probably pretty funny. Which musical artist is generally overrated? 50 Cent? I don't know. Most of the gangster rap people I think are overrated because I just don't like any of it. What company or franchise do you wish would go out of business? Wow. I'd like to say Walmart, but I rely on their prices, so because I'm poor. But they treat their employees like crap. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and say Walmart. What's the perfect temperature to set the thermostat at? That would be 21 degrees, which would be Celsius. In Fahrenheit, that would be, what, 72? Who around you has the worst luck? Me. I have the worst luck. The crap was that? Something went zooming past and it sounded like a cartoon. What's your favorite sounding word? Twat. Honestly, twat is my favorite sounding word. What's the weirdest thing that has happened to you in a car? I dropped a super big gulp cup one time, and it went through the steering wheel, and landed between my feet, upright and not spilled. But there was literally no way I was going to be able to hit the brake, and I shouldn't have been drinking it while I was driving. Anyways, it should have been someplace else. But anyways. It landed upright in between my feet, and there was literally no way I could stop the car without spilling it, and yeah, it spilled. So, but yeah, that's the weirdest thing, because it just sort of went book in the exact right spot to not be able to get around spilling it. If you could fit your whole life in one picture, what would it look like? A big black dot. I don't know. Let's go for any illustration of Dante's Inferno. What's something that can't be found or bought on the internet? Everything can be found or bought on the internet except happiness. So, what should the first colony on another planet be called? I'm gonna have to go for Alpha, because Space 1999 and Moonbase Alpha. If you put on a magazine, what would you name it, and what would be in it? I wouldn't put out a magazine, but if I was going to, I guess I would call it Dave's World, and it would just be random humor, so, dirty jokes and stuff, that kind of nonsense. The age of magazines is just about over, I think. If you were challenged to a duel, what weapon would you choose? Hand axe. What villain do you really feel for? Joker. What is the most interesting thing you could do with 400 pounds of cheddar cheese? A really big taco. What did you think you were good at, but actually quite bad at? I don't know. I always thought I was pretty good at making a girlfriend happy. Evidently, that's wrong. What in a trailer automatically makes you assume the movie will be horrible? If it sucks, The trailer is usually the best parts of a movie. So if the trailer sucks, the movie's gonna really suck. What game do you wish you could act out in real life? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go for anything AD&D like. That's Advanced Dungeons and Dragons like. Dungeon Hack was an interesting game way back in the day in the 1990s. Basically, it started, the term Dungeon Hack was just spawned by the game. It's a randomly generated dungeon with random encounters that you just go hacking your way through. That might be fun. Deadly, but fun. You know, there's no regenerating when you're really literally dead. Or we'll just say Mario Kart. That might be fun too. What are you really happy about being terrible at? I'm terrible at lying. People can really tell when I'm lying. So yeah, that's probably a good thing. What would be the funniest thing to fill a piñata with? I'm gonna have to go for butt plugs. What is the most pleasant sounding name for either a boy or a girl? Wow, I don't know. Sharina was kind of a neat sounding name to me. We'll just go for that. What's the most nightmarish creature you can imagine? Donald Trump. Yeah, just gonna go with that. If you were, if there were Internet Olympics, what sport would you be in? Browsing or Googling? We'll say Googling. I Google weird shit. I'm telling you, people are going to think I'm completely insane if they ever see my search history. What is the most interesting game concept you came up with? I've never come up with a game concept, ever. Not once. So, I don't know. What's, if the police raided your house right now, what's the most incriminating thing they would find? Browser history. There's nothing incriminating in my house. What actor what actor played their character so well that you can't watch them in any other show or movie without seeing that character? The dude that played Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. I'm sorry, every time I see this guy now, I think of that character. I, of course, had to pause because I had something in my eye. Every single day of my life, I get something in my eye. Every single day. What is the most fun thing someone could have in their background? The most fun thing they could have in their background? Is that, you know, life background or in the background of a photo? I don't know. We're going to have to go for, in the background of a photo, we're going to have to go for something like a great big giant dildo sitting in the background. Yeah. If you had to break one world record in order to receive $1 million, what world record would you try to break? Oh, good God. Most tacos eaten in a 4-hour period. What first world problem do you have? There's nothing on my cable TV that I want to watch right now. Nothing. That's a first world problem, isn't it? What would be put inside a mental health first aid kit? Dark chocolate and a kitten. What conspiracy theory do you actually believe? None of them. I haven't heard a conspiracy theory that was even plausible yet. So, you know, what looks delicious but tastes horrible? I'm sure there's something that I thought was good, looked good, but I didn't like, but I cannot think of it off of hand. I just really can't. Nothing is coming to mind whatsoever, so we're going to have to skip that one. God. Okay. It's called Shipwreck, okay? I personally like Shipwreck, but most people that look at Shipwreck goes, oh, that's going to be good, and don't like it. Yep. What 3 activities would you rate 10 out of 10 would do again? Masturbation, drinking whiskey, having coffee. Yippers! Drink whiskey, crank one out, and go for coffee. How about that? Yeah. What song would you pay money to never hear again? Red, Red Wine. My mother had this on 45. She wanted it, so I went and got it. This is when people had record players. That's right, when you played little vinyl bits of stuff to make music, right? I got it for her on 45, and she put it on repeat on the, because you could back then, there was a little automatic thing that would make it play the record over and over again on the automatic record player thingy. And she would play that thing until the cows come home. It would be on all day, every day for months. And I just hated it. Oh my God, I'm so tired of that song. It's not even funny. If you had to replace your hands with objects already in your house, what would you replace them with? A spoon and a steak knife. Have a good one.